All right. Hello, everyone. I wanted to hop on here real quick and share some antiviral strategies for combating coronavirus and just some extra immune support right now. I am a nutritionist and I'm not a doctor. However, I feel like now is the time where we really need to strengthen and support the immune system through nutrition and through the nutrients in the form of vitamins, minerals, and herbs, and whole foods, which have a tremendous impact on our body's natural defenses. The immune system is highly responsive to nutritional supplementation, as are the mitochondria. And the mitochondria are actually like the powerhouse of our cells. And because our body is made up of trillions of cells, it is very important to support these mitochondria on a cellular level. So these nutrients that I'll be talking about, they can be used to really strengthen the immune defenses. They protect the cell from the virus entering. They also can reduce the rate of viral mutation and play a very vital role in modulating viral replication, which is really important when we get attacked by a virus. So I do want to first kind of just break it down, talk a little bit about mitochondria. As I mentioned, our body is made up of trillions of cells, and the mitochondria in each cell, they act kind of like the digestive system. So they take in nutrients, they break them down, and then they create these energy-rich molecules for the cells to properly function. And when the cells properly function, you properly function. So very important that we pay attention on the cellular level. Mitochondria also has several other functions. This is a very shortened, condensed version of what they do. They're very vital in helping to regulate cell survival and death, and they also play a really broad role in cellular function following a viral invasion, and work intimately, like I mentioned, with the immune system. So what do our mitochondria feed on? This is a really important question because they turn the sugars, fats, and proteins that we eat into a form of chemical energy that the body then can use to continue to carry on living. This is, again, simplified process, but the point here is don't eat crap, because your cells depend on you getting the proper nutrition. So, and particularly when I'm talking about crap, I'm talking about processed foods, I'm talking about refined sugars, so things that are, you think of your cookies, your cakes, your crackers, your chips, your breads, all those processed foods. When we eat too much of that sugar, the cell cannot burn it fast enough for energy. And so what happens is it gets stored as fat. There's a big misconception that fat makes you fat, although there is some truth to that in the fact of hydrogenated and toxic fats can be stored as fat because the body doesn't recognize them as a nutrient. However, excess sugar gets stored as fat, and it also produces really damaging free radicals in the body. And these free radicals damage our DNA. They also cause inflammation. Excess sugar is also linked to not only on a cellular level, but really impacts our hormones in our body. It also suppresses the immune system, really leaving us open to an invader. So I'm not saying don't ever enjoy a cookie or ice cream again, but what I am saying is look at your food right now as fuel. Every cell that makes up every tissue, that creates every organ and system in our body relies on the nutrients we get from the foods we consume. So just something to think about. You are fueling every cell in your body every time that you eat. So choose wisely. Consider swapping over some of your processed food for some whole food substitutes. I will be doing a live video on Monday, March 30th to talk about, which will be a cooking demo, just to show you how you can swap over some of those common junk foods like breakfast bars and cereal for some really healthy alternatives that even the kids will eat. Tangent. Anyways, so yeah, back to kind of what we're talking about, immune support. So during this pandemic, really important to keep your immune system strong, your mitochondrial functioning properly, really in tip-top shape. Again, mitochondria play a huge role in modulating that viral replication. So we really want to make sure that they're supported through supplementation and proper diet. So now I want to switch gears and go into what I call your immune support squad. So these are, in my opinion, the best immune support for COVID-19. Many of these nutrients have really extensive benefits and functions in the body. However, I'm really just highlighting their antiviral support. So the first one is vitamin D3. It's involved in over 100,000 immune functions. But what we're talking about today is that it really improves the barrier defense of your cells, and it inhibits the virus's ability to replicate. It also enhances our non-specific innate immunity, which just means that it improves our defense against infection. It also helps to reduce systemic inflammation. It is a huge support for mitochondrial function, that powerhouse of the cells. It does help to improve moods, alleviate depression. It's really safe and effective in protecting against acute respiratory tract infections. And that was according to a systemic review and meta-analysis published by the British Medical Journal in 2017. Vitamin D was also shown to be really effective in reducing coronavirus-induced disease in pigs by helping to alleviate intestinal damage and reduce inflammation. So we've already seen some success here in the past with coronavirus-like strands. So highly recommend you add this to your daily routine. We can't really get enough vitamin D from foods for sure. It really comes from the sun. But during this time, during winter months, if you are at all immune challenged, I just highly recommend taking a emulsified vitamin D. This is biodemulsion. This is 2,000 IUs in 1 drop. I recommend at least 2 drops a day. If you know that you are low in vitamin D, then I would recommend even a little bit more. Vitamin D also works really synergistically with vitamin A, which we will be going into now. So vitamin A, again, has a ton of different functions in the body. But what we're going to talk about is it really, again, improves those immune defenses, and it is a mucosal barrier. It protects your mucosal barriers in your eyes, your lungs, your gut, even your genitalia. So it has huge efficacy among a wide range of human viruses and viral respiratory infections, which we know COVID-19 is really attacking that respiratory system. So vitamin D and A, like I said, work synergistically together to support immunity. And vitamin A is also involved in the production and function of white blood cells, which really help to kind of capture and clear out any pathogens from your bloodstream. Deficiency in vitamin A can increase your susceptibility to infections and delay recovery when you get sick. There are a lot of countries where they are infected with measles and malaria, and by correcting that vitamin A deficiency in children, it is shown to decrease the risk of dying from the disease, which was stated from the National Institute of Health in 2014. It's also essential nutrient in vision, normal growth, development, your gastrointestinal barrier protection, healthy skin, and again, like I mentioned, your mucous membranes. So you can't go wrong. Vitamin A, I recommend an emulsified version. I just do a couple drops of this a day. Suggested here is 10,000 IUs for adults. If you have an active infection of coronavirus, a much higher, more therapeutic dose is necessary, about 100,000 IUs a day for about 10 days and then stop. Again, I really prefer this one. I will have a link to my free just kind of ebook that has all this information in it. It will also have some food sources of these vitamins and minerals and supplements that I'm recommending, although at this time, even though food is the best form of medicine, in my opinion, I do think we need to have a little extra support. The next one I'll go into is zinc. Zinc is an essential mineral, meaning that our body needs it. It does not produce it, and we need to get it from the diet or from supplementation. Zinc is also considered to destroy the virus on contact. It has, the zinc ions are directly virucidal, which means they deactivate the virus on contact, which is amazing. One of the reasons why zinc lozenges are really awesome, if you have to go out to the store or travel around or during this time, popping one of these in your mouth and just making sure you're taking your zinc every day as well, but having this in your mouth can immediately destroy that virus on contact. It's also necessary for your pathways that get hijacked from promoting viral replication. So it inhibits that pathway that the virus takes to hijack your cells and then replicate. So zinc is really powerful with that. It is also a necessary barrier defense. And when you are zinc deficient, it increases your risk for infectious disease via immunosuppression, meaning it just suppresses the immune system. So another really powerful one, it's necessary for over 100 different enzymes to carry out vital chemical reactions in the body. So very, very important. It does also provide antioxidant benefits, helping to neutralize those free radicals, which I mentioned can happen with excess sugar, but also when the body gets an infection, we tend to have a higher amount of free radicals going on in the body and that free radical damage. So zinc can really help to neutralize that. It's also necessary for production of thymulin, which is our thymus hormone. And the thymus is essential in modulating our immune function. So a deficiency here really increases our risk for viral infection. And then really interesting, in a pathology study in 2019, it inhibits the coronavirus activity in vitro by impairing replication of a number of RNA viruses. And the deficiency is really common worldwide and contributes directly to increased mortality and death from a wide range of infections and diseases. So supplementing here, preventative dose is about 15 to 30 milligrams. An active infection, you're going to be about 30 to 50 milligrams or higher. So highly recommend kind of more of the lozenges that you can just pop in your mouth and suck on. Selenium is the next one, which I don't have. I just ran out of my selenium, so I ordered some more. It's an essential mineral as well. It is like the birth control for viruses. So it has antioxidant support, really important during infections, helps with, again, with that free radical production and damage that can contribute to really unnecessary inflammation. It is anti-inflammatory, so inhibiting those really pro-inflammatory pathways that are commonly hijacked by viruses to promote their replication. It is anti-replication. It has a lot of functions that help to reduce that viral replication. It does help to move that lymphatic flow in the body, which can reduce secondary infection. It is clinically used to treat autoimmune thyroiditis like Hashimoto's, anxiety, depression, and fatigue. And then one really interesting thing about selenium is the terrain in China is famously deficient in selenium. So many researchers and clinicians connect this deficiency in animals and in humans in many regions in China to creating kind of a incubator or a perfect storm for the generation of these novel virus strands, which are really just mutations of much milder infections. Suggested recommendation here is 200 micrograms a day is safe and widely used in clinical trials. During a viral infection, about 600 micrograms a day is more reasonable. Next, we'll go into vitamin C. It is one of the most well-known immune support needed for growth, development, repair of body tissues. It is used as an antiviral agent in many influenza cases. Really supports that healthy and robust immune system. Many of you are probably already taking vitamin C. Antioxidant that protects cells. It also reduces that inflammatory response. You know, it's been used to help prevent and shorten colds. And then it really helps the detox pathways get rid of any stored toxins or byproducts from having an infection. And then one of the more interesting facts about vitamin C is that it lowers your histamine levels. So histamines, if you think of when you have allergies, you have histamines and you sneeze and you maybe itchy or get rashes. Well, histamines suppress the immune system via the activation of these H2 receptors. And these H2 receptors that are triggered by viral infections cause this high histamine load. So vitamin C helps to break down histamines along with vitamin B6 and really accelerate that breakdown process. Suggested use here is about 1 to 2 grams about 3 times a day. It is water soluble, so you want to have it in doses throughout the day, ideally away from food. I recommend morning, mid-afternoon, and before bed, taking about 1 to 2 grams. And just be mindful, try not to buy it off the departments or the grocery store shelves, because a lot of it is made out of ascorbic acid, which is derived from genetically modified corn. So I would just try to get a trusted brand or get liposomal vitamin C, which is a liquid form. Our next one is N-acetyl-l-cysteine, which, or NAC. N-acetyl-cysteine is an antioxidant. It is a direct and indirect antioxidant and a precursor for glutathione, which is the body's most powerful antioxidant. It is also really important for repair and growth, for immunity, for exercise recovery. It is an amino acid, like I said, so it's a specialized protein or a broken down protein. It's very well studied and effective in clinical practice with H1N1, influenza, and pneumonia in the Annals of Internal Medicine 2010 study. It is also mucolytic, which means it thins and dissolves mucus to help clear it from the respiratory system. This is extremely important in this COVID-19, as people are seeing that's one of the common causes of death, is getting that mucus in there and having that inability to breathe. It does dissolve biofilms, which is really effective against different pathogens. It's anti-inflammatory, antiviral. It blocks the pathway viruses use to replicate. It also helps to neutralize toxins in the body, support our detox pathway, more specifically our phase 2 detox pathway, and really provides mitochondrial protection, or that cell protection. It also helps enhance dopamine, which is our happy mood molecule, making us happier, and suppresses the appetite. It's been used to help support fat loss and maintaining muscle mass. And the suggested use here for N-acetyl-cysteine, preventative dose is about 600 milligrams twice a day. For an active infection, it's more like 4 to 6 grams per day. Very effective, taken on an empty stomach. Really works synergistically with the vitamin A, vitamin D, the zinc, and the selenium that I had mentioned already. And then the last one is Glycyrrhizin, which is actually a licorice root. It's been used medicinally for about 1,000 years, directly inhibits many different DNA and RNA viruses, while also stimulating our immune defenses. It also inhibits the entry and replication of SARS, according to Lancet in 2003. Associated coronavirus in vitro. Of all of the compounds, Glycyrrhizin was the most active in inhibiting replication of the SARS-associated virus. It also inhibits the absorption and binding and penetration of the virus, which are early and essential steps in any viral infection. I recommend kind of doing a hot water infusion of licorice tea. That will have sufficient Glycyrrhizin medicinal properties. However, taking a licorice root, this has 900 milligrams, taking 2 of these during an infection, probably a couple times a day, maybe with food, would be ideal. And then my last little bonus one is colloidal silver, or nano silver. This was used again in ancient times to treat various ailments. It's now really used to dramatically reduce the activity in HIV virus in AIDS patients. It also helps to slow down the ravages of vitamins, hepatitis C virus, and combat other viruses. So what it does is it inhibits and interferes with the enzymes that allow the virus to utilize oxygen, thus kind of suffocating it so it can't do damage in the body. I really love this St. George Nano. Most nano silvers, which is just a smaller form, are on back order right now. This one is not. I can give you the phone number to call and order. It's a wonderful company that makes it. You can spray it on your hands, your nose, your mouth, your eyes. Really safe for all surfaces, kills on contact. So really amazing product there. So that's just kind of a sum up of what I would recommend for your antiviral support squad during this COVID-19 coronavirus outbreak. I will put in the link below some more information on food sources, and then I'll also be doing a video pretty shortly on what you can do in your home to help boost your immune system. So we'll talk about hot and cold showers, we'll talk about rebounding, about moving the lymph system. So you guys have a lot more tools than maybe you possibly thought, and I'm definitely here to help support you in any way that I can. Thank you so much.